children. Today we are going to discuss about one of the famous masterpieces of William Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice. Before I begin explaining things act-wise or scene-wise, there are a few things that need to be told and kept in mind. Firstly, listening should never be just for the sake of it. Shakespeare was a visionary and learning his works would never be enough. Trying to understand him would rather open up the doors to understanding yourself. Before we proceed, I would like to give you a brief history of 16th century England which will help you connect better with the drama. England is basically an island, so there were mostly sailors all around. Shakespeare's plays were performed on the stage, and the audience, as I said, were people who probably had had a rough day at the sea, and at the end of the day, all they wanted was just entertainment. This is the reason why you would almost always find an element of laughter, sarcasm, puns, and jest in all his plays. His stories refer primarily to the created characters and the ground reality surrounding him. Shakespeare knew it was suffering ultimately that evoked laughter. Also, he could disguise his characters so much so that telling the villain from the hero apart was really very difficult. I'm sure you all must have watched the cartoon series Tom and Jerry. I'm sure you have always laughed when the cat suffers all sorts of torture, manipulation, and ignominy. You will always notice that we as humans are always prone to look for weaknesses and then all our sympathies work towards the size of the character. We are rebels basically and we somehow want to reject the food chain too. The cat most literally must eat the mouse. But we all have our sympathies towards Jerry. Jerry, on the other hand, is a prominent mischief maker, and Tom, the poor thing, is just trying to save his mistress's property. Yet, we all have our sympathy towards Jerry. Shakespeare, in a similar way, gives us much food for thought. He forces us to introspect at the end of it all. He is a lesson for us all as to how to judge people according to their circumstances. The Merchant of Venice has mainly four main characters: Antonio, Bassanio, Portia, and Shylock. You would be questioning yourself at the end of it as to who the Merchant of Venice actually is. I will give you the freedom to judge and then decide for yourself your version, your understanding of it all. To proceed with, let me just give you a brief summary of The Merchant of Venice. The Merchant of Venice is basically a tale about a Venetian businessman Antonio who is also a humanitarian. I hope you all are familiar with the word humanitarian. A humanitarian is a person who likes to help others in spite of facing all kinds of difficulties himself. Now, our hero Antonio, he is best friends with Bassanio. Bassanio, in turn, is in love with Portia, a air princess. But he lacks the resources to pursue his love interest. Naturally, he comes to Antonio for help. Antonio at once comes to his rescue, irrespective of the risks involved. Such is his idea of friendship. As we proceed act-wise and scene-wise, we'll be learning about what kinds of hardships were faced by Antonio. He incurs huge debts upon himself, aided by Shylock, another Venetian moneylender who lays down conditions that become life-threatening for Antonio in the ensuing stages. Shylock is a Jew, and there is a general hatred towards his very existence from the common folk of erstwhile England. At that time, you know what? The Jews were looked down upon by the people. And Shylock was hated by all because, being a moneylender, he used to charge huge amounts of interest, which was otherwise not the case with Antonio. Antonio, because of his kindness, liked to give huge amounts of money to people as loan but did not charge a single penny as interest. Antonio shared this common hatred of Shylock and had also been vocal about it. The tale actually boils down to redemption and retribution, and Portia quite meticulously emerges as a hero saving lives and saving grace. There is so much in between that I cannot wait to discuss, but children, when you know Shakespeare printed page after page, you would know what relationship prose has with poetry. You should believe me when I say this is going to be a lesson that you will learn for life. In our later videos, we will be discussing the Merchant of Venice in details, and I'll also be sharing with you some important questions along with each act and each scene, which will help you understand the play better and also prepare for your forthcoming examinations.